Join me. Together we can rule the galaxy far and sun.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman, and you're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 120. Wow, can't believe that. 120, here we are. So, unfortunately, my little buddy couldn't join me today, but we are going to be talking about episode 6, the eye of season 1 of Andor. So, just a little fun this week. Again, check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Big T Little T. Always playing a little Fortnite. We're having fun playing Fortnite. We are trying to level up to 100 again to get Gwen Stacy from Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. So, having fun playing Fortnite. We had a good, cool October Chicago weather, and so Saturday we went and did the zoo, Brookfield Zoo by our house, and yeah, it was super fun. People got dressed up. The kids, we didn't totally dress up, but it was fun seeing everybody dress up and have fun. But Trent and Ellie have these fun kind of little hats, Pokemon for Trent and a unicorn for Ellie, and they just had fun. They have these like air bladders that move the ears, and anyways, it was enough to put on, I guess, a costume there. But yeah, we're gearing up for Halloween. Put up a couple more Halloween decorations this week. Getting the yard all ready for fall and all that fun stuff. So yeah, we're getting super stoked for Halloween. And trick or treat. This episode 6, was a treat. Just based on scheduling and stuff like that. We didn't catch this episode till Friday, just how things were going, but let's just dive right into episode 6, The Eye. Again, we are ready. We're almost a go for this mission. It's finally happening. And so on Aldhani, that's where they're at. Cassian and Karis are talking, and Karis is a little bit nervous about the mission, and Andor agrees with Karis that, the Empire does not play by the rules. They have this interesting conversation about that, but really Cassian gets down to is like, yeah, the Empire does not care and literally doesn't play by the rules. Interesting conversation with Commander or Commandant. I don't know what his ranking is, but I think his name is Behaz. That's a great name. J-Hole Behaz, and he's talking about the indigenous people of Aldhani, and that they essentially discourage them to make this spiritual trek. Over the years, it was 15,000, and now it's just getting down to 60. So, yeah, they just kind of talk about their occupation and just getting, he's kind of briefing this other guy, and it's like, yeah. And so Gorn, who again is the inside man, the Imperial guy in the inside, he's asking about, what he thinks of this gentleman, Pittigar or whatever. Yeah, he's an engineer. He just, he's not really into this stuff. And so, again, Behaz warns Gorn, hey, everything's got to go right. And so finally, everything is ready to go in the position. And then we get a little news here, a little bit more character development. Arvel tells Andor that Termin was a former stormtrooper. So now we have a little bit more insight. Again, if you're not familiar with Termin, he is the one that kind of is telling them how they march last episode. And, he's the African-American gentleman that is basically saying, hey, let's keep this tight. And so that kind of makes sense as far as how he's, just how he knows how the Imperials work because he was a stormtrooper. Okay, so now we get to this kind of ceremony. There we have Gorn, who's helping out the whole thing, and then Behaz and his son. They have this thing where they like essentially have this like training of, I don't know what it is, a yak, a fox, I don't know, some kind of furry thing that symbolizes the two, how can I put it? The two come together. So there we're seeing the before that actually happens. We're seeing them come in, which is great. And then we see Vel and Cinta. They have another. They kind of split up, and we get the comms all worked out. We get everything worked out. And so they kind of scuba over to this one lookout area, which is right across from the dam. And now the rest of the crew, they follow. They basically come in behind the procession of the Dahanis, and they get in there. El Dahanis, sorry, they get in there right behind them, and they're kind of the armor they're wearing is a little mud trooper ish. With a little, like almost, it's not the snow trooper chest plate, but it's pretty close. It's kind of a light armor thing that they're doing. So again, for the 501st, it's gonna be a whole nother like CRL here, but yeah, very interested about that look. And so now we got everything kind of set up, ready to go. So we have Val and Cinta. They are in position on the other side of the dam. And now we have the four gentlemen, the four of the guys. They are behind the procession. And Gorn sees them and everything's great. And so now they're all sitting here. And then we have the kind of ceremonial exchange, if you will, between the two, and they, Gorn misinterprets the leader of the Dahanis, just kind of doing the pleasantries just to get it over with. They do the thing, and then now they leave, and then Dahanis, the El Dahanis, don't like the offering, and they throw it in the fire, but they have everything set up, and Gorn takes our rebels with him at the post, and they follow behind Behaz, if you will, and they get in there. And Gorn, it's perfect. Gorn kind of sets everything up and makes sure everything's clear. And what Vel and Cinta, then the comms officer, and it kind of makes sense. We see Gorn talk to this gentleman in episode 5, and he wants him at his post, because that if he's at his post, he won't be looking around, and that will get Vel and Cinta in. So Vel and Cinta get in. They do kind of this jammy thing on the comm link, and then they go kind of rappel down this dam, and they join up with the crew as once they get into the first kind of locked area. They get everybody in, and Vel and Cinta come in, and there's a little shooting, and somebody dies from the Imperial side. Oh boy. But they take Behaz with him, and they need his handprint to get that rail cart out of, to open up the vault, if you will. And so Behaz is trying to pull off like, hey, we don't do this around here. They control that, but again, Vel is on it. Is like, yo, we know you are lying. You're lying. So we're gonna, either we can kill everybody, or, we both get out of this kind of scot-free if you follow what we're doing. So that all makes sense. And then they get into the actual where the vault is. They get to open everything, blah, 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 blah. Now, they are playing a form of Sarbak or something like that. There's a couple people that are playing that, some Imperials. They first say it's an inspection, but then they get their hands up, and they have the crew open up the vaults. We get a little hacky hack, and then all the things kind of unlock. Bada bing, bada boom. Now they're loading the rail carts. Everything's great. Everything's running on time. They're a little bit behind schedule. Gorn comes in. And that's when Behaz realizes that he's in on it as well. What? Spoiler alert. What's happening here? Yeah. So now Com Guy up on the naval on the dam part, he intercepts an Imperial transmission. He intercepts the Rebels transmission, and he's not sure what he picked up because everything's jammed and he can't do anything. Another thing that's happening is that they shut off all the lights for this Eldani meteor shower display, which is super cool. Love. They keep on intercutting between the Eldanis and what Cassian crew are doing. It's really cool. I really love how the whole direction of this episode is great. And so Behaz is just saying, hey, they got my son and my wife. I don't want anything happening. Follow what they do. So now they're loading the truck. They're loading the rail car. Boom, 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 boom. Com Guy, he comes down with he's got a squad with him, and they manually, everything's kind of jammed or whatever, so they manually go down the stairs, boom, 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 and they come up to this kind of scaffolding area, and they could come in, and they're saying, Gorn is like, hey, we're doing a simple thing, it's unauthorized, this is a secret mission, and Com Guy's like, Behaz, what's up? And Behaz can't really say anything, and then I don't know how he got injured. I'm not totally sure what happened here, but yeah, I'm not really sure. He gets injured or something, and he pretty kind of faints or dies. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure how I can't recall like if he got hurt or he tried to kill himself, or I don't really know. I'm speculating here. I'm not really sure what the heck happened, but he kind of goes down, and then they get in a firefight, and it ain't cool. So it gets a little dicey real quick. So as one would know, that this is what happens is that we get in a skirmish. Gorn's down, and then Tarmian's down, and now like it's all messed up, man. It's just happened, and then there's a guy that jumps Cassian and thing, and he's trying to get the thing, and he loses his blaster, and Skeen, I think, takes out Nemec takes a shot and gets Andor's little guy off of him, and everything's great. So now we got Vel. Tamarin's down. Gordon's down. So we got Vel, Nemec, and Skeen, I think his name is. So there's really just 4 now. And so, everything's not buttoned down really good. They didn't get the full vault, but they got enough of the vault. And so as they blast off into descent, Nemec is thrown back, and he gets crushed by one of the cylinders. It's not good. Andor's asking for coordinates, and he doesn't have any. And so Vel sedates Nemec with like a med spike, gets him going. He can't feel his legs. It's not good, but we need him because he knows what he's doing. And so Nemec guides Andor basically in and out of the meteor debris shower light show. And we got these 3 ties that are also being deployed. I think it's for the meteor shower to take pictures or do something or scout. But now they see the ship. And so Nemec is helping him out. Boom, 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 boom. And the TIE fighters do not make it. Imperium made, no shields or whatever. So we get to this kind of cool outpost. I think it's called, I don't know if they give a label, but they get to this planet. And this is another shot in the trailer, in the teaser trailer. I think he's a four-armed humanoid doctor wearing goggles, kind of has a Maz Kanata little look, and he's operating on Nemec. Vel is in there, and so Skeen and Andor are out waiting for what's happening. So Skeen basically says he's not a rebel. He's more of a, soldier of fortune, if you will. He's a gun for hire, similar to Andor. He made up the story about his brother, and it says, hey man, there's a moon not too far away. We can split 50-50. Bada bing, bada boom. Andor does not like where this conversation goes and shoots him. What the heck? So there goes Skeen. Skeen is out of the picture. Unfortunately, going back to the alien doctor, Nemec is gone. He's come to his injuries. So he comes in with the blaster and Vel, and he says, I'll buy the doctor ship and for 30,000 credits and get me out of here. Vel doesn't believe that Skeen would do that, but Andor's like, that's what happened. And so right before he leaves, Vel does, she wants him to have Nemec's manifesto, and there you have it. So that kind of ends that part. Then we go back to the ISB with, and we got Deidre again, Deidre Murillo, and it's at all staff meetings. Call your friends, call your family, whatever. It's going to be an all-nighter. We have a rebellion on our hands. What? Then we cut to Luthen and his galactic antwiquities or whatever's going on in that store. He's got some customers there. And then some guy or some, I don't know if it's the customer or somebody's like, hey, maybe we should get something from Aldahini or whatever. And he's like, so Luthen kind of tenses up because he knows what's going on. And he's like, didn't you hear the news? There was a massive rebel attack on Aldahini. And Luthen goes in another room and just laughs. He's having a happy thing. There is one shot, too. I forgot. There is a shot of Mon Mothma in the Senate. And so she's talking about, again, the blockade on Gorman, but is ignored because other senators is ignored by other senators because this news is kind of percolating. And so poor Mon Mothma getting ignored by her family. And now the Senate, what is happening? Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that's how the episode ends. Tension from the start. This was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Trent and I were like holding each other's hands. We're like, what is going to happen? This is written by Dan Gilroy and directed by Susan White. And again, it's good. It's really good. It's super fun. Really cool, fun little heist movie in the eye here in this episode. So kind of has that. Again, we have a longer burn, obviously, for Rogue One, but Rogue One is a heist movie, so this is kind of like a little mini heist in here, and we finally got to it. Again, like I said, slow burn, got to it, super fun, great action in this, and great visuals. I love the meteor shower and the whole TIE fighter fight, if you will. Super cool. All right. We've been doing this segment, and again, unfortunately, we only got like 3 left here because of where we're at in the seasons, but we're doing what is happening in. So we are in episode 120, so we're going to look at 2020. What happened 2 years ago in Star Wars? I'll tell you. I think the biggest thing out of 2020, so again, we're coming off of 2019 was super strong year for Star Wars. Obviously, we got the debut of Mandalorian. We got the Rise of Skywalker, wherever you're at with that. We talked with Isaac last week from Ike's Flame. If you haven't checked that episode, definitely do that. We had so much fun with Isaac. But one of the things we totally forgot to talk about was Celebration 2019. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Trent and I had a fantastic time. It was so cool. We had a great, great time. It was super, super awesome. And, but 2020, really lots of, February of 2020, we have the debut of the Bad Batch. Bad Batch comes back in 2020, which is awesome. Yeah, it's fantastic. So cool. It was great. We got to see that. And then what else happened in 2020? Things happening here. The Art of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is published in March. So a little bit different about that is that usually those books are published in the month they come out, but this one is slightly delayed into March. What else is going on? We have The Art of Star Wars Rebels is debuts in April. I do not have that book. I need to get that book. That is something I definitely want to look at. The Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian appears with directing in May. We got that going on. Let me see what else is happening. Things, stuff, books. Oh, okay. The Jedi Temple Challenge, which is was on the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel. This is super fun. This is like an obstacle course thing hosted by Ahmad Best. Super fun, super quirky. Kind of reminded me of the old Family Double Dare kind of stuff. It was great. I really enjoyed it. Trey and I watched that. That was fun. That was happening in July. July, I think June, July, August. We have that going on. Yeah, so obviously 2020 pandemic, yikes. Celebration Anaheim was originally scheduled in August, never happened. I believe they did sell some merch from 2020. Yeah, I forgot about, pandemic, yikes. Things are happening here. Really, the only thing you need to know about October, Mandalorian Season 2 debuts with Chapter 9, The Marshal. Oof, I love this episode. It's so good. It's one redeeming thing about 2020 was good old Mando Season 2. Yeah. So we got Mando going on basically November and December. I think it squeaks into January. I don't think when the last one. Maybe not. I think it's done. Oh yeah. December 6th, December 18th. Chapter 16, The Rescue. Oh, I didn't know who it was. I think on our short list for me and Trent was Ezra, Cal Kestis, and Luke was in the mix, but we were thinking it was going to, or like Quinlan Voss, somebody a little remote that not too much exposure, but they went with the big thing. We got Luke Skywalker taking out all those dark troopers, and oh my gosh, it was so good. And then, little bummer right before that, on the 17th, Jeremy Bullock dies. Boba Fett, the original BF, Boba Fett, passed away there. Yeah, tough. But yeah, The Rescue. Oh, a chef's kiss, if you will, for that. But yeah, it was super fun. And then right on the 25th, Merry Christmas, The Mandalorian making this season 2 premiered. Again, that one's okay, but they condense all of the stuff in like a 1-hour episode and whatever. But I wish they just expanded more. Pretty much gave like 10 minutes for each episode. Just wish they, we got to see a little bit more on that. But it's still fun seeing a little BTS, you know what I'm saying? So there you have it. That's what happened in 2020. And I think that's all we got for this episode. Thanks again, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses, for listening to another episode of Big T and Little T. You can find us on the socials, Big Little T, Big T Little T podcast on Instagram, and then BLILT podcast on Twitter. And then, of course, check us out on twitch.tv, Big T Little T / Big T Little T. There you go. Love to get a follow out there. Hey, we got stickers. We want to hear from you. So comment, rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. Give us a rating. Send us a screenshot, email us, or whatever at bigtlittlepodcast@gmail.com. We'll read that rating. If you have a question too, drop us a question or give us your thoughts on episode 6. What did you think of the eye? We'll read that in an upcoming episode, and we would love to send swag to your face. Well, to your house, but, then it'd be in your face. So there you have it. Hey, next week, episode 7, we're going to be talking about it. It's happening. Andor. Awesome. Now remember, truly wonderful the mind of the child is, and may the force be with you always. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, I hit the mic. That's okay. Bye. See ya. Test, test, test. 1 2 1 2. Test, test, test. 1 2 1.